There's a silence sometimes, a silence feels heavy because it's waiting, waiting for the words you can't quite say, for the moments that slip through your fingers, for the heart you know is near but feels just out of reach. And in that silence, I find myself thinking about you, about us, about the fragile, stubborn, beautiful thing called love. Love isn't fireworks, not really. It's quiet mornings when someone's hand finds yours without asking. It's staying when leaving would be easier. It's listening when no one else is listening. And it's the courage, the quiet courage to say, "Come here, sweetheart," not as a demand, not as a gesture of impatience, but as a gentle invitation, an acknowledgement that connection matters, that hearts, however battered, deserve to be close. We live in a world full of noise, full of distraction, full of fleeting affection, full of promises that evaporate the moment life gets hard. And yet, when I think of you, I see something enduring. I see patience. I see loyalty. I see a willingness to keep choosing, to keep showing up, even when it's messy, even when it's painful, even when we're scared. That's the kind of love worth holding on to. And so, here we are. Two people navigating the quiet, difficult, yet infinitely beautiful terrain of love. And I just want you to know, if you're willing to step closer, if you're willing to be real with me, if you're willing to let your heart rest a little, I'll be right here, not with perfection, not with grandeur, but with sincerity. And that maybe is enough, because love at its core is simple. It's showing up, it's listening, it's holding space, and sometimes it's just whispering softly, "Come here, sweetheart." Love, in its purest form, is not easy. It is not something that arrives with a grand gesture and stays polished and perfect. Real love is raw. It is tested in quiet, ordinary moments. It is tested when life breaks routines, when disagreements flare, when fear seeps into the spaces between hearts. Commitment, true, enduring commitment, is often invisible. It doesn't make headlines. It doesn't need to. It is in the small, consistent choices. It is in showing up when leaving would be simpler, in listening when speaking would be easier, in staying when walking away feels tempting. Commitment is choosing the same person every day, not because you're forced to, but because your heart recognizes their worth and your soul is tethered to theirs. Many people confuse love with excitement, with passion, with intensity. And while those feelings have their place, they are fleeting. They are the firework shows in a sky that will eventually darken. Love that lasts, the kind of love that withstands time, that grows with seasons, is quieter. It is steady, it is gentle, yet unyielding. It is a force that doesn't demand perfection but nurtures growth. To love someone fully, you must first see them clearly, not the version they show to the world, not the polished image or the smiles in the pictures. You must see the cracks, the scars, the moments of doubt, the hesitations, and then, with full awareness, you must choose them. Not because they are perfect, but because their imperfection resonates with yours, because you understand that two flawed hearts can build something beautiful together, not in spite of their flaws, but because of them. Commitment is also courage. It is saying, "I will not abandon you in the storms, even when the storms are loud and frightening." It is holding hands through grief, through fear, through uncertainizing that love is not only joy but responsibility, patience, and persistence. Commitment asks, will you stay when life is hard? Will you choose love when convenience tempts you to walk away? Will you nurture, forgive, and protect? Sometimes commitment is silent. It is a touch, a glance, a presence that says, "I am here. I will not leave. I will carry you through this moment." That's the profound power of love grounded in reality. It speaks not through drama, but through constancy. And here's the quiet truth: love is not a transaction. Love is not earned and lost through perfection. Love is cultivated. It is grown through mutual respect, understanding, and the willingness to carry each other, even when it is inconvenient, even when it is painful, even when it is terrifying. Real love is not the absence of struggle, it is the presence of steadfastness. So, when I say, "Come here, sweetheart," it is more than an invitation, it is a vow. It is an acknowledgement that love is a choice. It is saying, I see you. I accept you. I will walk beside you through the quiet and the chaos. That is the essence of commitment. Not the easy moments, but the hard ones. Not the perfect smile, but the weary nights. Not the fleeting passion, but the enduring connection that transforms two lives into a shared journey. Because love, when real, is not about perfection. It is about presence. It is about choosing each other over and over. It is about courage. And it is about honoring the silent promise that no matter what life brings, no matter how far the world pulls us apart, we can always come back together. Love is choosing to be present. Love is choosing to listen. Love is choosing to stay. And that, perhaps, is the most radical and beautiful act of all. Love, as much as it nourishes, can also wound. It exposes the tender parts of us, the parts we hide from the world, the corners where fear and doubt live. And when those parts are touched, when we are hurt by the ones we love most, the pain can feel unbearable. But here is a quiet truth: heartbreak is not the opposite of love. It is part of love. It is the proving ground, the space where we either learn to hold ourselves and each other gently or let connection slip through our fingers. Healing is not immediate. It is not neat. It does not come with a timeline. Healing is messy. It comes in quiet moments of reflection, in tears no one sees, in conversations that are difficult but necessary. Healing is realizing that the wounds inflicted, intentionally or not, do not define the relationship unless we allow them to. Healing is the courage to face the hurt, to look at the cracks, and to decide that love, true love, is still worth the effort. Forgiveness is a choice. It is not forgetting. It is not excusing. It is not surrendering. Forgiveness is the conscious act of releasing the weight that keeps us tethered to pain. It is understanding that holding on to resentment doesn't punish the other person, it punishes us. Forgiveness is saying, I choose peace over bitterness, love over anger, presence over absence. And when forgiveness is mutual, when both hearts are willing to release the past and meet again in honesty, something miraculous happens. Love begins to breathe again, fuller and freer than before, choosing someone daily. That is the quiet miracle of enduring love. It is not enough to declare love once or to commit in words alone. Real love is repetitive. It is a series of small, conscious decisions. It is waking up each day and thinking, I will care for you today. I will listen. I will hold space for you. I will honor you even when life is difficult. This daily choice is not glamorous. It is not dramatic, but it is the heartbeat of a love that lasts. Sometimes choosing someone means standing in discomfort. Sometimes it means saying hard truths with gentleness, admitting mistakes with humility, and embracing vulnerability even when it terrifies us. Sometimes it is about letting go of pride and ego, about admitting that the relationship, the heart we share, is bigger than our need to be right. And sometimes choosing someone daily means waiting. Waiting through silence, waiting through doubt, waiting through fear, but waiting with intention, with patience, with the quiet certainty that love, if nurtured, will flourish. The most profound truth about love is that it is never passive. It is not something we fall into and forget. Love is active. It is deliberate. It is the courage to face imperfection, to navigate heartbreak, to offer forgiveness, and to recommit over and over. Love is a journey of hearts walking together through the storms and the sunlight. When I say, come here, sweetheart, in the aftermath of hurt or tension, it is more than a simple invitation. It is an acknowledgement of the choice we make daily to heal, forgive, and love. It is a soft but powerful reminder that no matter how far we wander in moments of doubt or pain, our hearts can always return to each other if we are willing to keep choosing. Love is not a moment. Love is not a feeling that comes and goes. Love is a practice, a commitment, a daily decision to stay, to heal, to forgive, and to be present with the one who matters most. That is where love becomes extraordinary, not in perfection, not in absence of struggle, but in the courage to keep returning, to keep choosing, to keep opening your heart even when it is vulnerable, because in the end, love is not about never being hurt. Love is about finding the strength to hold each other's hearts tenderly, even after the world has tried to break them. And in that act, in that daily choosing, we discover that love is not only a gift, it is a sanctuary. Loyalty, it's a word we hear often, but so few truly understand its depth. Loyalty in love is not about possession. It is not about control, nor is it about fear. It is not a contract written in ink that expires when life becomes difficult. True loyalty is quiet. It is steadfast. It is a choice made day after day, often without applause, often without recognition. It is a commitment to honor someone's heart as if it were your own, to stand by them through their triumphs and their failures, to protect the fragile trust that binds two people together. Loyalty is not blind. It does not mean ignoring faults, avoiding conflict, or tolerating harm. Loyalty is perceptive. It is grounded in understanding, in seeing the whole person, their strengths, their weaknesses, their fears, their dreams, and still choosing to invest in them. To be loyal is to hold a space for someone to grow, to falter, and to return, and knowing that the foundation of your love is unwavering. It is easy to love when everything is smooth, when life flows like a gentle river, when joy is abundant, and when hearts feel light. Loyalty seems natural. But it is in the storms, the financial struggles, the illnesses, the misunderstandings, the disappointments, that loyalty is tested. True loyalty is not swayed by circumstance. It does not vanish when life grows difficult. It is a silent promise, an inner vow that whispers, I am here. I am not leaving. I will stand with you. Even when the world seems against us, respect is the companion of loyalty. Without respect, loyalty can become a cage, a misguided attempt to cling rather than to support. Respect is the recognition of the other person as a full human being, as someone whose feelings, thoughts, and dreams are as important as your own. Respect is listening, truly listening, without judgment or interruption. It is honoring boundaries, acknowledging autonomy, and giving space when it is needed. In a relationship, respect manifests in countless subtle ways. It is the quiet patience to let your partner speak their truth. It is the restraint to avoid harsh words in moments of anger. It is the humility to apologize when wrong and the courage to forgive when hurt. It is valuing the other person's needs without diminishing your own. Respect is the glue that holds loyalty in place, allowing two hearts to navigate life's complexities without eroding the bond that connects them. Emotional maturity is the third pillar, the one that often distinguishes fleeting romance from enduring love. Emotional maturity is the ability to recognize and regulate your own feelings, to understand how your actions impact your partner, and to communicate with clarity and compassion. It is the capacity to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. Emotional maturity allows love to survive in the face of frustration, disappointment, and conflict because it replaces ego with understanding and pride with empathy. Mature love does not require constant validation. It does not thrive on drama or need endless reassurance. It grows quietly, steadily, like a tree whose roots sink deep into the soil. The leaves may sway in the wind, but the roots hold firm. Emotional maturity allows couples to weather disagreements without dismantling the relationship. It encourages reflection rather than blame, dialogue rather than silence, and connection rather than withdrawal. Let us consider what happens when loyalty, respect, and emotional maturity intersect. The result is a love that is resilient, a bond that withstands life's inevitable storms. It is a relationship where two people feel safe to be themselves, where mistakes are met with understanding, where growth is nurtured rather than stifled, and where hearts are honored, not manipulated. Loyalty asks us to stay. Respect asks us to honor. Emotional maturity asks us to grow. Together, these three create a sacred space, a sanctuary where love is more than emotion. It becomes an enduring practice. It is in this space that a simple invitation, come here, sweetheart, carries immense weight. It is not merely a physical request. It is a declaration that says, I am here for you fully. I see you. I honor you. I am committed to you. In the quiet, in the chaos, in every ordinary and extraordinary moment. Life will test this love. Life will present moments of temptation, moments of exhaustion, moments when patience runs thin. And yet, the couples who endure, who remain devoted, are not those who avoid these tests, but those who embrace them. They choose loyalty when it is inconvenient. They practice respect when it is difficult. They embody emotional maturity when emotions threaten to overwhelm them. They choose each other not because love is easy, but because love is sacred. Loyalty is also the courage to confront challenges together. It is the willingness to address misunderstandings, to communicate honestly, and to seek solutions rather than assigning blame. It is standing beside your partner in the discomfort of therapy, in the vulnerability of confession, in the courage of admitting mistakes. Loyalty is not passive, it is an active force, a conscious commitment that bridges the gap between imperfection and intimacy. Respect, too, requires courage. It demands that we see beyond our own perspective, that we acknowledge the validity of another's experience, even when it conflicts with our own. Respect is the ability to embrace differences rather than suppress them. It is understanding that disagreement does not equate to betrayal. It is nurturing a space where both individuals feel valued, heard, and appreciated. Without respect, love loses its depth. Without respect, loyalty falters. Emotional maturity is the compass guiding both loyalty and respect. It is the awareness that love is not about winning arguments, avoiding discomfort, or proving superiority. Emotional maturity teaches that patience is more powerful than pride, that empathy outweighs ego, and that understanding is stronger than judgment. Emotional maturity allows us to step back in moments of anger, to pause before reacting, and to respond with intention rather than impulse. In relationships, emotional maturity often reveals itself in the quiet, unremarkable moments. Holding a hand during a stressful day, listening without interruption, choosing calm over conflict, apologizing without defensiveness, forgiving without resentment. These moments, though small, compound over time, creating a deep reservoir of trust and intimacy. They are the invisible threads that weave a tapestry of lasting love. Loyalty, respect, and emotional maturity also demand self-awareness. To love fully, we must understand our sour figures, our triggers, our desires, our limitations. Without self-awareness, we risk projecting insecurities onto our partner, confusing attachment with possession, or mistaking dependency for intimacy. Self-awareness allows us to contribute to the relationship consciously, to give love freely, and to navigate challenges without losing ourselves. These qualities also teach us that love is not transactional. Love is not about keeping score, tallying favors, or expecting perfection. Love is about presence, consistency, and intentionality. It is about holding space for the other person to grow, even when their path diverges from ours. It is about celebrating their victories without envy and comforting them in their defeats without judgment. When loyalty, respect, and emotional maturity converge, love transforms. It becomes a sanctuary where vulnerability is safe, where hearts can be honest, where imperfections are embraced, and where connection deepens with time. It is a love that withstands the pressures of life because it is rooted not in fleeting feelings, but in conscious choice and unwavering commitment. The beauty of this love, that it does not demand perfection from either partner. It recognizes that humans are flawed, that life is unpredictable, and that challenges are inevitable. Yet within these imperfections, it finds strength. Within these challenges, it discovers opportunity. Within these trials, it cultivates a bond that is resilient, enduring, and profoundly transformative. And so, when I say, "Come here, sweetheart," it carries the weight of this understanding. It is an invitation wrapped in loyalty, a gesture underpinned by respect, and a call guided by emotional maturity. It is the embodiment of love that is intentional, enduring, and deeply human. It is a promise that says, "I am here, I honor you, I cherish you, I will walk beside you through the ordinary, the extraordinary, and everything in between." Love built on loyalty, respect, and emotional maturity is not fleeting. It does not crumble under pressure. It does not fade with time. It endures, evolves, and strengthens. It becomes a foundation upon which two lives can grow together, a sanctuary where trust is sacred, where intimacy flourishes, and where hearts are free to be fully known and fully loved. In the end, these three, loyalty, respect, and emotional maturity are the pillars of a love that lasts. They transform ordinary relationships into extraordinary journeys. They turn fleeting attraction into enduring connection. They make the simple invitation, "Come here, sweetheart," a profound declaration that love is not only about presence, but about intention, not only about passion, but about patience, not only about desire, but about devotion. When two people cultivate loyalty, respect, and emotional maturity, they create a love that is safe, sacred, and sustaining. A love that honors the past, navigates the present, and embraces the future. A love that whispers in quiet moments, in gestures, in shared glances, and in the simple act of holding each other close. "I am here. I will not leave. I choose you. Always." And it is in that choice, repeated day after day, moment after moment, that love becomes truly remarkable. It is no longer just a feeling, it becomes a way of being, a practice, a life lived in harmony with another soul, a testament to the power of human connection and the profound beauty of choosing each other, even when it is difficult, even when it is inconvenient, even when it requires the deepest parts of our hearts to remain open.